We're in Vilamoura in the Algarve, and if you saw my last video in Lule in the Algarve, I explained how this happened. Walked into a glass door. Luckily the door didn't shatter, but I did get a cut, so I'm wearing this Band-Aid for a few days. So that's how that happened. Now Lule is inland, so it's a totally different vibe from what we get here. Vilamoura is more of a beach vibe, more of a playground. You get a lot of British and Irish people down here, Germans too. Haven't really seen many Americans, to my surprise. I'm sure they're down here, we just haven't seen them. But anyway, I thought today we'd do a beachy day, and it's not usually my vibe. If you've watched this video, you know that beaches aren't really my thing. I mean, I like the water. I like walking around near the water. I like walking on the beach. And I've got nothing against them. It's just hanging out on a beach all day isn't my idea of fun. So don't mind doing it for a day, and that's what we decided to kind of do today. So this morning we went down to the beach right on the ocean, absolutely gorgeous, and laid on the beach chair for a while. And I was going to read my new book that I've got an interview coming up with a young lady, and she wrote a book for the podcast. And of course I realized I got a new phone and I don't have my Kindle on it. So I tried to download my Kindle, didn't work. So didn't get any of that done. So we decided to go get lunch instead. And we went to, I'm glad we found this place. It's called Aya Pepe here in Vilamoura, and had a really nice lunch. Karen got quinoa salad with spinach and some veggies in it that was really nice, and a beetroot juice with, I think, carrot in it as well. That was really good. And then I got a veggie salad, but that really doesn't do justice to what was in the tons of veggies, and then it also had fresh mango and pineapple. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed that. I'm glad we found it, because here in Vilamoura, and I'm sure most of the rest of the Algarve, it's Italian pizza joints, Irish pubs, bad gelato. Not insulting anyone who has who's got a gelato shop down here, but frankly I haven't found good gelato along the water here in the Algarve. So it's kind of like a playground for folks, and we're right on the Vilamoura harbor, which is, yacht central. So rich people coming down here to hang out. The thing we're going to do next is we're going to take a boat trip to the Benagil Cave. Now this is a very famous cave here in the Algarve, and really it was kind of a spur of the moment decision that Karen and I made to go on this boat tour. So I didn't do a lot of research on it. We just there's tons of places that offer these cruises, and you can get on a boat for about 40 to 50 euros, and they'll take you out for anywhere from 2.5 to 4 hours and see the Benagil Cave. They say maybe you'll see dolphins on the way back. I don't know, we'll see. Or you can charter a private boat, and I've seen those for like 750 euros, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but they hold up to 18 people. So if you go that route, it costs about the same as you would getting on a boat with a bunch of strangers and doing it yourself. So if you got 17 other friends and you want to do that, that's an option. Haven't done this boat tour before, haven't gone to the Benagil Cave before. I've seen videos on YouTube. I hope this is good, but frankly, I really don't know what to expect. I don't know a lot about this company that we got. We just bought a ticket, and we're gonna get on the boat, and hopefully we enjoy ourselves, but we'll see what happens. So we got off the boat, and walked over here to Al's Bar, which is about, I don't know, 8-10 minute walk from the harbor. So I got a glass of wine here at Al's. This place is known for its cocktails and its beer. It didn't feel like that, so got some wine instead. And that's a nice little red wine. It's a cool little place in there. They've got some couches and a bar, and I think they're into horse racing. They got racing TV on the set up above the bar. So this is a really cool bar. I like it a lot. But I need to tell you about our trip on the boat. So it was incredible. Meet and beat all my expectations. So what you do is you get on this boat, and it's like a giant rubber raft. I don't know, maybe 15, 18 people on the boat. Get a life jacket, and then you cruise out of the harbor, and then he guns it. And you go down the shore because you've got a ways to go to get to the cave. So it gets a little bit bumpy in places, but that's fine. I would say this, what really surprised me was you hear about the Benagil Cave, the Benagil Cave, and when you finally get there, you see why people talk about it all the time. But on the way there, there's all kinds of cliffs and rock formations, little inlets with hidden beaches, and little caves as well. And there's also tunnels between beaches, because that was the only way that you could get from one place to the other, so they dug it. At one point there was even a church on top of a cliff, and there was a wedding going on, and our guide told us that they have weddings there all the time because it's such a beautiful point to look out on. And there's a fair number of boats out there, tourist boats like ours, big ones and little ones, because it's just so beautiful there. So people are constantly going out on the water. But we went at one point to another inlet, and I thought, oh, he started going inside, and I thought, okay, we've got to the Benagil Cave. But it wasn't, it was a different one. And it was really cool inside, and the boats kind of maneuver around each other. I don't know how these guys do it. Like, we're getting really, really close to the other boats, but they maneuvered perfectly, and we got to see the inside of that cave as well. And that's what I mean when there's so much more to see. It's not just about getting out there, getting to the Benagil Cave, and then racing back. There's tons more to see. There's the little villages along the way. There's all the beautiful beaches. It's really quite extraordinary. Then you get to the Benagil Cave, and it is everything that it was cracked up to be. All the stuff that you've heard about it, it's true. In a way, it kind of reminds me of the Pantheon in Rome, because you got the big dome, and then you've got the opening at the top where the sunlight comes through. Big difference is a lot more kayakers at the Benagil Cave than at the Pantheon. So we did that, and it's just absolutely stunning in there. I mean, just takes your breath away. And then he said, okay, we've got some time, we're going to go look for dolphins. Now, most of these cruises to the Benagil Cave will tell you, we'll look for dolphins. There's no guarantee you're going to see dolphins because, they're wild creatures. You don't know where they are at any given time. When we got out there, he gunned it out into the open water. And when you get out there, we saw a couple of dolphins, but they were way in the distance, and I wasn't filming at the time, and I don't think it would have shown up on the camera anyway. So that's all we saw as far as the dolphins go. There are boat tours that will take you out specifically to see dolphins. Again, I don't know that they're guaranteeing that you're going to see dolphins or not, but if that's what you would rather do, you can go and do that. The other thing I wanted to say was your different options for taking a boat out to the Benagil Cave. Now, we're here in Vilamoura, and so we're quite a distance away. you know, it took a good 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes to get all the way out there. Granted, we were stopping along the way. If you didn't stop, you might have made it a little bit faster. But we were in this rubber, I call it a dinghy. It's bigger than a dinghy. But we were able to go fast. I mean, that thing, that guns it. So we got out there pretty quickly. And that's nice. You can do the tour then in 2.5 hours from start to finish. That's what it took us, 2.5 hours. So that's nice. It's fast and it's maneuverable. So our boat, we could get in and out of these little spots, in and out of the caves pretty easily, and could see all of the different little places. So that's one of the advantages of going in a smaller boat. You can choose to go in a bigger boat where they'll put 50, 75, maybe 100 people on one of these boats. That's nice too, but you don't get the maneuverability. Also, those boats aren't, not only are they not as nimble, but they're not as fast. So maybe that cruise will take you 4 hours. On the plus side, you get amenities on board. Maybe you get a drink. Maybe you get some snacks. Probably a place to go to the bathroom. None of that is available on your little dinghy unless you're bringing snacks, and there's no bathroom on board. Another option would be, like I said earlier, you can privately charter a yacht to yourself. Super expensive, but you know, they'll fit 18 people on that yacht. So if you know 18 people, you can go out there and you can do that. And you know, it works out to be pretty reasonable when you divide it per person. Those are your three main options. If, though, you are staying well out near the Benagil Cave, then you have another option, and that's to take a kayak. And there's a beach almost like right around the corner from the Benagil Cave. So if you go there, you can rent a kayak. I don't know how long it takes you, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe longer, to kayak into the Benagil Cave. The advantage with that is you can actually pull your kayak up onto the sand in the Benagil Cave. You can probably stay as long as you want. We were only in there for a matter of minutes. So that would be a huge advantage if you happen to be in that area. You're not paddling from Vilamoura. It would take you ages to get out there, and I wouldn't want to do it in the rough, choppy water. That's the last thing to know is if the weather is not cooperating, if the seas are very, very rough, they're going to cancel your boat tour. Our friends Terry and Danielle were down here just last week, and their tour got canceled. They didn't get to see the cave. So shout out to you, Terry and Danielle. We got to see it. Watch this video and you can see what you missed. Not rubbing it in, it's just we saw it and we loved it. And next time you guys come to visit, you'll get to enjoy it as well too, I'm sure. But keep that in mind. If the weather's bad, you may get canceled. So I would schedule it one of the first days of your vacation rather than one of your last, because if it gets canceled, then you can reschedule for later in your vacation. All right, that's it as far as the Benagil Cave goes. I hope you like looking at that video that I took of it. Some of it was a little bit bumpy, I know, but that's what it was like on our boat. I'm going to enjoy my wine, and maybe we'll go and find some dinner after that. So we were getting ready to leave Al's, and we started chatting with Al. And he told us that bar had been there for 23 years, so good on Al. But what he told us was the space next to him became available, and he found out who the landlord was going to rent it to. He didn't want that business to go in there, so he rented it out for himself, which I think is a real great power move on Al's part. He didn't know what he was going to do with it. He said, oh, maybe I'll just use it for storage. He decided to turn it into a wine shop. It's not quite open yet, but I think it's a great idea because the wine at Al's, even though everyone was drinking beer and cocktails at Al's, I think having a wine shop there is great. The wine we had was very, very good. Then we decided to walk like 50 feet to Vilamoura, right across the square, for dinner. And I gotta say, probably the best meal that we've had so far in the Algarve. This restaurant, first of all, so accommodating. Like, they wanted to make sure everything was perfect, just the way we liked it. And I gotta say, nailed it right, you know, right on the head. It was perfect. We shared some dishes. So we had an arugula salad with sun-dried tomatoes, which was delicious and salty and full of umami. Red onions in there too, gave it a little bit of a bite. Perfect, really, really good. And then we had some sauteed veggies. That can often go wrong, but these were perfect because they were not overcooked. The zucchini, which always seems to come out mushy, was still crispy and delicious. Really, really delicious. And then the third dish we had was a tofu salad that had little dices of mango in it and a little bit of rice, edamame. The thing that struck me about that dish was everything was just so not only finely prepared, but also fresh and delicious. And speaking of preparing the dishes, they have a camera in the kitchen broadcasting what they're doing in the kitchen on TVs around the restaurant, which I think is a really unique and cool idea. You know, you can kind of watch your food as it's being done. So that place, awesome. Great, great food. The owner was a great guy. He's from Coimbra, and highly, highly recommend Salmoura. Then we decided to go for a passeio, and ended up back on the beach where we started this video this morning. We walked into Cartera and had a glass of wine at a little club there. Could only last for a glass of wine and some sweet potato fries because the DJ was thumping there. Not our thing, but gorgeous place. And then we swung on the swing on the beach, and now we're back here. So I gotta say, our trip here to the Algarve, I was a little bit apprehensive because I've got like a, I don't know, a stereotype of the Algarve. And I gotta say, a lot of those stereotypes are true. There's a lot of British people and Irish people here, and they're all sunburned. And there's a lot of golf playing down here. So, you know, I don't play golf, and I don't spend a lot of time on the beach. I do love the beach, but I don't spend a lot of time there. So, and I just thought it would be a little bit too much of a Disneyland carnival type atmosphere. That's here. If you want that, you can get that here. You can get karaoke, and you can get loud disco music and bad gelato, and all that stuff is here. But dig a little bit deeper, get a couple of blocks off of the beach boardwalk, and you can find some really interesting places with some really good food. And also, the natural beauty of this part of Portugal is really, really stunning. I really loved it. Getting out on the water and seeing the landscape from that view, from the ocean side, was very eye-opening and something that I'll remember for a long time. So there you go. Algarve, you changed my mind. Gonna have to come back here and explore further sometime in the future.